Blurring boundaries through globalization. We live in a time when the application of conventional social, economic and political terminology, to describe the realities of living in a post-industrial world, can no longer be thought of as fully adequate. Nowadays, politics is much better described in terms of economy, social and demographic trends, in terms of psychiatry, and the economy itself, in terms of criminology. Such a situation came into being as the most immediate effect of the process of globalization changing the very essence of classical geopolitical notions. Despite the fact that promoters of globalization try their best to instill ordinary people with the idea that it is only experts, namely, these promoters, who are qualified to talk on the subject of world shrinking in size, due to the emergence of new, globalized, socio-political realities. Anyone with even average IQ is quite capable of understanding the true nature of globalization as the process of independent countries being deprived of its political sovereignty by cosmopolitan money bags, who perceive independent countries' laws and regulations as an obstacle on the way of moving speculative capital from one corner of the globe to another. In his book, The Next Global Stage, one of globalization's most famous theorists Kenichi Ohmae makes no secret of what represents globalists' ultimate agenda. The global economy ignores barriers, but if they are not removed, they cause distortion. The traditional centralized nation-state is another cause of friction. It is ill-equipped to play a meaningful role on the global stage. Therefore, globalization is best defined as the process that creates objective preconditions for the eventual emergence of the world government, which will exercise supreme authority over the planet's natural and human resources. Impact of globalization on world politics. The following are globalization's two major effects on modern politics. World's political leaders are being increasingly preoccupied with world's issues, at the expense of striving to assure their own nation's well-being, as it used to be the case, even as recent as 20 years ago. Moreover, these leaders are being deprived of their existential individuality. Nowadays, they consist of unmemorable mediocrities that can excel in only one pursuit, indulging in politically correct rhetoric. In his article, The Club, William Pierce provides us with insight on why there is such universality in how leaders of Western countries act. To have a major policy role in the United States government or the government of any major European country, any major white country, you're supposed to be a member of what amounts to a private club, the club, in which you have been carefully checked out and determined to be safe, which is to say, determined to be willing to take orders from the secret bosses of the New World Order. The executive authority of such institutions as United Nations, European Union or World Trade Organization continues to increase rapidly. For example, today's European Union is nothing less of a bureaucratic quasi-state. Euroministers now go as far as suggesting that the European Union must have its own army and a police force, Europol, despite the fact that originally, the founding of this organization was only meant to serve purely consultative purposes. In his article, A European Common Defense Community in the Making, Douglas Goold says, the European Union has come a long way from being focused on functional matters, such as coal and steel, atomic energy, agriculture and trade barriers, to developing into something that comes close to being a quasi-federal state. The same can be said about the United Nations and the World Trade Organization. For example, it became a common practice in such East European countries as Ukraine to seek the World Trade Organization's consent, when the issue of Prime Minister's appointment is being concerned. Thus, we need to stress out once again that globalization is nothing but an instrument that allows the representatives of the world's financial elite to acquire political power to deprive independent countries of their national sovereignty. And the reason they do it is very simple: Earth grows increasingly overpopulated, while the planet's most important natural resources, such as oil, are estimated to deplete in 50 to 100 years from now. Therefore, the world's oligarchs strive to be put in a position of exercising unilateral control over these resources, without regard to national laws and regulations, as soon as possible. This is exactly why the hawks of globalization promote the elimination of national borders with such a passion. You can find this and many other essay samples on our website, studycorgi.com.